I'm going to try my making a fire by bow and drill. I've already gathered my pieces, as you can see here, and I've tried it a time or two, but yet to make an actual ember. I've got the bow, fireboard, spindle, and then I've got a homemade bearing block. I made a piece of aluminum that I have about a 3-foot piece of paracord on it. And then I've got my wood already and my bird nest. So let me get it put together and get back to you here in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and string up my bow here. Now I went ahead with a partially, you see the curved bow. I've tried using a straight one that was flexible, but I ended up fighting it too much. So I've got one that's partially bowed already, and that tend to help a little bit. I just do like 3 half hitches. And then what you can do is you put your hand in there and you can kind of tighten it or loosen it with your hand. And you take your drill and let me show you that. Just twist it in there like that. Obviously you want the sharper tip up and the flatter on the bottom. I guess I should explain the spindle. The spindle is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. The part that you want to make the friction that'll be on the fireboard will be somewhat flatter. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. And then the opposite end will have more of a point. And the point being is this end will create more friction. So there'll be more surface area against the fireboard. This will create less friction and less drag. And that part ends up going into this bearing block, which you may make out of a stone, antler, or another piece of wood. And as you can see, it'll spin in there and stay in there. And anyway, now let's see. And then you have a little ember board or leaf. This is a piece of I believe it's sweet gum bark, and you put it underneath where the ember is going to be caught. That way it doesn't fall on the ground. The ground, especially now, is so moist, it would just kind of contaminate it. So I'm going to give a shot at it here. You're going to want to take your foot, put it up right next to where your spindle sits. Take your arm, wrap it around your leg, and use your leg to stabilize your hand. Looks like we've got it. The limber there. Let it burn for a second there. Nice good cold there. Well, there you have it, a fire with a bow drill. I have to say that's my first. I ended up using the poplar for the fireboard over what I believe to be cedar. It seemed like the poplar had more of a grainy tinder, if you will. The cedar seemed really fine and seemed like maybe it wasn't getting enough oxygen, whereas the poplar, being a little grainier, possibly was allowing more oxygen in. Anyway, that's what I found. The poplar definitely would get an ember quicker than the cedar would. So I'll be using poplar for my fireboard in the future.